But I might find one. Like that's going back to that last question. I am a naturally curious person. People that know me personally knows that before I was on YouTube, I was dropping 500 word Facebook posts that nobody read. You know what I'm saying? So like that's me in general, but it was better on Facebook when I would have 10 comments, 20 comments versus, like managing a brand. And so it's not like this is first world problems. I want to be clear. Like I'm not complaining. Like I quit my job and did YouTube full time for a reason, right? I love making videos. I'm obsessed with making videos. To be real, like we went on a trip and like little vacation, and like I'm thinking about videos. I'm texting needless. I'm pulling out the computer to work through edits because I love creating. I just don't love the micro celebrity part. You know what I'm saying? That part is stressful for me. How did you move from 500 word Facebook comments? It wasn't 500 comments. So, you mean Facebook? All right. Here's the thing. I do like to talk about the video essay concept a lot. I'm planning on making like another video like I did last year. The first thing is you have to be naturally curious. I am way cooler and more interesting in a video essay than in real life. Why? Because the video essay is a perfect vessel for how my mind works. Does that make sense? If I'm sitting around with people and they're having a normal conversation, I don't have much to add. I'm not overly even interested. I'm just kind of like, I'm on my phone, I'm watching whatever's on the TV. If it's a normal conversation, like if I start into the conversation, I'm usually taking it left. And people that know me in personal life can tell you that. And that's because like I'm too curious about like things to just like the big Attack on Titan criticism I was getting was it's a cartoon, it's just a cartoon. And I'm like, no, nothing is just a thing. Everything that is a piece of media, if it's of any quality, has layers of meaning and sociological implications and thematic elements to think about. And so I can't ignore, that's what I see first most of the time, right? So if you don't have that in you, you will not be a good video essayist. If you can sit back and watch most media or hear most media or like interact with the world and not have a bunch of questions pop up in your head that sends you on a tangent, then you're not gonna make great video essays. You have to have a brain that is, that functions a little differently. And this is why some people don't like video essays, because this all just sounds stupid and it's, overanalyzed and whatever else. Shout out to, LA, thank you. A favorite best video you've released so far. So perfect example. This is a good question. So my favorite video, my two favorite videos are Mike Tyson and Baby Boy, some of my lowest viewed videos. My video on Baby Boy hasn't broke 100,000 views yet. And that is probably the favorite video I've made. In both of those videos, I saw Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson had a fight. He did that fight with Roy Jones Jr. randomly, I guess a couple of years ago now. And so I watched a snippet from him, and I was watching this old man get back in shape. And then he has this scene, I use it at the end of the video, where he is crying. Mike Tyson is like talking to some other men and he's breaking down into tears. And he's talking about how he misses his old self. Now, mind you, Mike Tyson's old self was a drug addict, a sex addict, a sexual predator, you know what I'm saying? Like all these horrible things, but he was also a gladiator. And when he was that gladiator, he was a god. And like, so like I thought about that. I was like, man, you know what? How does it feel to be a god and then not be God anymore? You feel me? Like if you don't say, like if that doesn't give you, if that question doesn't give you goosebumps, you're probably not going to be a video essayist. If you can't, if it doesn't stop you to think, man, what does it feel like to no longer be God? Then you probably don't have the type of like perspective, at least for me. You know what I'm saying? For me, I'm not gonna watch your videos. Somebody else might watch them, but I'm not gonna watch your videos because you're not gonna challenge me with ideas and perspectives that interest me. You know, Baby Boy, my favorite video. Right, to God, from God to dancing in a bee suit. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. And you know, you may not understand it if you didn't grow up in the 80s and 90s and realize that Mike Tyson was the biggest athlete in the world, was a huge megastar, and has become a caricature of that partially in his recovery. And he's healthier now. Don't get me wrong. Like I respect him. I understand why he wants to be that again, but I also think it's better, and he would agree that he doesn't want to be that anymore, but I get missing that. You know? Baby Boy, this is a movie that played I remember watching Baby Boy when I was like 19, 20, in my dorm room, you know, and being like, this is goofy. This is goofy as fuck. This is like the worst shit John Singleton's ever made. What's this dude doing? Because I like John Singleton. And then I watched it again 15 years later, and I was like, oh shit, this is about us. This is about black men. This is about what the system does to black men. It's about how the world around us is putting us in this opposite, like impossible position to like achieve masculinity and manhood. And like when I realized I missed that, I was like, I know other people missed this. And then I made a video about it. We Cry Together, the movie. Real talk. So to answer that person's questions, I like this topic real quick. That's the first thing, is you are not naturally curious, and you do not think about things in a way that is interesting enough to hear you talk about it for 20 minutes or so. It's not in the cards for you. The other thing is talent and like education to an extent, knowledge base. So like, I think, like I don't watch all his videos. I think Thought Slime is probably the most skilled overall video essayist right now, regularly uploading. Especially since he started taking breaks and making like bigger videos. Like his Gary Vee video is a masterclass in a good video essay. Oh, I can't wait to come back to this. Woo, we coming back to you, Jerome. We're gonna go back to you, Jerome. Thought Slime's video essay on Gary Vee is a masterclass on like a perfectly written, structured, edited, shot, produced, everything. That is like the perfect video essay of this year. You know, from a technical standpoint, from a holistic standpoint, that's better than anything I've made thus far, in my opinion. When I watched that, I got mad. Like, I get jealous. I'm jealous of CJ, because CJ's the only dude that I think sees the world the way I do. CJ's the only person, I'm sorry, I misgendered them. CJ's the only person I think sees the world the way I do, and they get to these ideas before I can get to them and do them better a lot of times. Like if you follow me and CJ, there's so much synergy between our channels. It's crazy because we're so diametrically like different. I'm 20 years older. I'm a very traditional cishet, man. I'm from, Chicago, etc. But CJ and Thought Slime to me are like, in terms of like, I love CJ's videos. I love Thought Slime's like technical everything. So what does Thought Slime do dope? Thought Slime has a very good speaking voice. He has a very good on-camera presence. You have to be able to do that. One of the things I'm good at is I was a teacher for 10 years. So like, you can't be a teacher, especially some of the schools I was teaching in. I learned how to talk under pressure, like to present ideas, to structure a lesson plan, to build up to a point, to essentially deliver speeches. Like that teaching is a core ingredient to my success, right? So you got the skill, and then like I dropped out of grad school, so I read a bunch of fucking books. And so some things, I say all this to say, like there's some things you can learn over time, and there's some things that are gonna have to be like innate. I am just lucky enough, this is something CJ said. We're both lucky enough that a formula for content developed that perfectly matched our skills. That's the best I can do with that answer is, you go and you look at like the best pure essayists, thought slime, folding ideas. Go look at some old Lindsay Ellis stuff. Go look at some old nostalgia critic stuff. They're not really good video essays, but like the way he structures stuff, his timing, Red Letter Media, and that's another thing. That's the last thing. I wanted to be a writer at some point. And I had a homeboy I worked with that was already a writer. And I was like, what should I do to become a better writer? He's like, you need to read more. And I was like, fuck, I don't like reading. I don't like reading. I don't like reading fiction. And so, like, there's no way I could have gotten to be a good writer without reading fiction. Because I don't know the conventions. I don't know the structure. I don't know the culture. Yes, even nostalgia critic. I know. I'm not saying, like, don't give me some grace. I'm just saying he's, like, nostalgia critic still gets 300,000-400,000 views on his stuff for a reason. So if you're not watching a lot of video essays, you're never going to learn how to do them, is what I'm saying. So if you're not watching, if you haven't went through ContraPoints' playlist, H-Bomb, Lindsay Ellis, who's the low-key the mother of the shit, along with Red Letter Media, low-key the fathers of the shit. If you go back and you watch my Break Bread, a lot of motherfuckers I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that is the formula for how stuff is good. And so you have to learn those conventions. If you know video essays as much as like I do, you'll see their influences in a lot of stuff that I do.